Tom Eddie of Eddie's Reef Aquarium. Today's video, you might have guessed, I have a subscriber that asked me a question: what do you dose on the Fusion 40? Well, this video is all about that. But before, I thought I'd give a little plug in reference to the salt that I use. I use, as you see here, the Red Sea Pro. Why do I use it? Although Red Sea has other salts, they have one that comes in a blue bucket, and that you can use it for SPS and fish aquariums. I decided on using this salt, and I've used it on the 9-gallon and then on this one, because this salt, if you read about it, the Red Sea Pro, it's bombarded with higher levels of magnesium, calcium, and alkalinity, which would be ideal for a reef aquarium. That's not to say that you cannot use the Red Sea salt that comes on the blue bucket. That's perfectly fine. But with this one, I really don't have to be adding so much dose when it comes to alkalinity, etc., etc. So I'm going to go into the video now. I'm going to shoot a close-up of the items, and then I'll explain what's going on, what I actually dose. Although this is a disclaimer, do not, and again, do not follow my amounts on your aquarium. This is for me and me only when it comes to the Fusion 40. If you follow me from way back, you're going to notice that on one of the videos that I explain aquariums, whether it's fish only, in other words, a community tank, whether it's corals, freshwater, it doesn't matter. If you get two identical aquariums, identical conditions, salt, sand, rocks, identical, and you start the process and you go ahead and you do the cycling process, each one will behave completely different. One will take longer to get coralline algae, others will be shorter. And when it comes to the stability of, let's say, your parameters on any tank, it doesn't matter if it's a community tank or a reef tank. At the beginning, the stability of your parameters are unstable. But once they reach the stability, then you can get a feel of what's going on. Again, no matter if you did that on tank number 1 and tank number 2, you will find that they behave differently. So being that this is my disclaimer, what I'm going to start now to explain what I dose, that's me on this Fusion 40. You might try the same dosage, you might try the same items, and your tank will respond and behave different. So I thought I'd clear that up, that this is me and me alone. So let's go to the video and dive in. Okay, and here we are, a close-up shot of the items that I use. First, let's address the A and B. What I use, and I barely have to use it because, again, the salt that I'm using, the Red Sea Pro, like I mentioned on the intro, since it's elevated when it comes to magnesium, calcium, and alkalinity, I barely have to dose A and B from Bionics. I'm testing the aquarium with the Salifert test kits, which I've used for many years, and I highly do recommend them. They're very accurate. They come from Germany. I started to test weekly, and it was fine. Now that I see that I have stability on the tank, on the Fusion 40, I'm checking every other week. But I barely have had to dose either part A or part B. So that's when it comes to the alkalinity and the calcium. When it comes to feeding the corals, of course, nothing but Reef by Polylab. Now this, they recommend like twice a week. If you see other videos, there's people that actually dose it 3 times a day. What I'm doing, again, this is just me with the Fusion 40 and the amount of corals that I have now, which are not that much. I'm dosing, I'm putting about, once a week, I'm putting about close to, I'd say, a quarter teaspoon. About a quarter teaspoon of this. I mix it with the tank water, and I go ahead and I dose it once a week. Now that, again, that's me. And then what I just started to apply on the tank, and I found out the worldwide corals on their mixed tank, when you go into their present shop, which, you know, they're in the process of opening a superstore. But the one that they've had when they founded Worldwide Corals, there's a mixed tank when you come in on the left-hand side. You've probably seen videos of it in picture, where you have Casper, the white tank. Okay, that one, I went ahead and I asked one of the experts there, what do you actually dose? And this is what they told me. From Brightwell Aquatics, they dose replenish, and they put the amino acids by Brightwell. I started this, I'd say, about 2 weeks ago. And I'm starting to see the results. So going back individually to these products, replenish, I'm putting 33 drops. It says that you can do it like 3 times a week. I'm doing it twice a week. Why? Again, because of the bioload. I don't have that much corals yet, and they're starting to grow. So I don't want to bombard it and overdose it, because then that'll affect my nitrates. They'll start to go up. Now, going next to it, the coral amino, which is amino acids. This comes, let me show you. This is the smaller one. This is the 30, I think it's 30 mLs. You have a 60. I got the smaller one just to try it out. On this one, when it comes to the amino acids, you have to turn off your protein skimmer and your filtration system for 15 minutes. And you shake it up very vigorously, and then you go ahead and you apply the amount. Now, they recommend to target feed. But to be honest with you, I was asking fellow hobbyists and experts when it comes to this product and the quote-unquote target feeding. And what they said is actually true. When you start, like, let's say when you turn off the protein skimmer and you turn off your filtration system, okay. But in my case, I keep the MP10 on, so that'll be current. It'll distribute it around the tank. If you target feed the first coral, because amino acids, it's really targeted more for SPS corals. I mean, the whole tank will benefit, but mostly the SPS. But then what happens is, if you target feed one coral, then you target feed the other, then you target feed the other, then you target feed the other. You know, once you target feed and that product starts to go downstream, you're really turning into broadcast feeding. So to make it more easier, it's actually really better to broadcast feed the product than just target feed one, then the I mean, if you're going to target feed one, it's okay. But if you have numerous amounts of SPS corals, you end up that it was actually a broadcast feeding. So what I'm doing is, in my case, again, with a Fusion 40, what I'm doing is, they say to apply it like every other day. And in reference to the amount, it says 20 drops is equivalent for 50 gallons. Now, again, this is a Fusion 40, but like I've explained on my previous videos, 40 empty with air. You know, no sand, no rocks, no bioload, no fish, no corals, no nothing. No protein skimmer, no custom caddy, nothing. So when you start to add all those items, when it comes to the water volume, the water column, it's not really 40. I'm shooting for, like, let's say like 35. So what when it comes to the actual product, to adding on any of these products, or in general on any aquarium, don't go just by what they say that your tank is, a 10 gallon or 40 gallons or 100 gallons. You have to use a little physics, And note that mass, which I've explained in previous videos, mass takes over when you put sand, rocks, equipment, and all that in the tank. So it's not longer what the specifications say, like in this case of the Fusion 40. So what I'm doing is on all these items, if I was, when I add them, I always use the formula, not 40, but let's say like 35. So going back to this product, I'm adjusting it to 35 gallons. So what I do is, let's say on Monday and tomorrow Thursday, I'll add about 13 drops. I'll go ahead, I'll turn off the protein skimmer, I'll turn off my filtration system, and then I'll add the 13 drops on Monday and on Thursdays. So that's basically what I'm dosing. I haven't added any other items. I think that this is more than enough for my Fusion 40. And so that's basically, in a nutshell, what I wanted to bring up in reference to that subscriber to wanted to know what I actually dose. This is it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And just hit that little bell so you'll be the first ones to be notified that I uploaded a video. And like I say at the end of all of my videos, happy reefing. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day.